Hey guys, what's up? It's another installation of Highlight of the Week. My name's Troy Scott, founder of AGM, and I'm going to point
Andrew
the right
Fruit,
way this time. It's this way. This way is
this
Andrew.
way, upside down, and left, right. Somewhere on the screen, Andrew Fruit here with AGM. So, Troy, excited to be back for number 4, I believe it is.
Something like that. Yep.
Getting in a roll. And if you're watching this and you're wanting to develop content, it's all about getting started. It's not going to be perfect. We've had some wacky introductions, but it's all about getting going and just continually doing it, right? Just like anything. So,
Yep. At least we've got our plan together. So today we are actually going to talk about 5 very unique things about the call system inside AGM. The first thing we're going to talk about is call tracking. Then we're going to talk about call recording. Then we're going to talk about how calls are actually transcribed for you, and then reporting. And then finally, IVR, which is just a fancy acronym for press 1 for sales when somebody calls into your business. So with that, Andrew, let's kick it over to you and let's talk about call tracking. As he transfers this over, and I really doubt what I'm about to say is actually true, but if you've been watching our videos, you've heard me talk about how Heavenly Greens spends about $100,000 a year on a very sophisticated Marcom stack. And what we're doing is slowly moving off and then onto the AGM platform. But just one tool that we have at Heavenly Greens for tracking and recording calls and a whole bunch of other things, that one tool cost me $1,100 a month. And this is basically duplicated inside AGM. So you might imagine how excited we are to actually get over on this system. But with that, Andrew, back to you, buddy.
all right. So we are using the Artificial Turf Express kind of account right now. We'll block out some of this information maybe, but just for pure privacy reasons. But we really do want to rip open the hood for our clients and our people watching this to see how we're doing things, both internally at Heavenly Greens and Artificial Turf Express, and also what we then will be able to take over to our clients. So, as Troy said, all the great thing about the AGM app is it is really everything under one roof. So, as far as the call tracking goes, this is kind of like the home of your phone numbers. Okay, and you may ask, why do you have so many phone numbers for Artificial Turf Express? Well, this is how call tracking actually takes place. So you can kind of see here the friendly name for each of these phone numbers. And there's, Bing ads, there's Facebook and Instagram and Schema and home improvement guides.
I could just jump in, Andrew.
Of course.
The thing about call tracking is, sure, there's arguments on both sides. I only want to use one phone number for everything. Okay, great. But you're not going to know where all those phone calls come from if they're on everything. If you send out a special offer in a newsletter, you kind of want to know if people actually opened your newsletter and called on that number. Or if you want to put a tracking number like we do on our vehicles, or you want to put a QR code out there and know if people have actually called after they've gone through the QR code. Just for enormous reasons and benefits, call tracking is vital to the marketing side and understanding where your data is coming from.
Yeah, and I think for the minimal cost it is to add a phone number for your business that gets forwarded to your main phone number, it's the pros far outweigh the cons of doing that. And remember, most people these days, they're not remembering a phone number, especially a business's phone number. So unless you're chopping and changing these numbers on a very frequent basis, you're not going to lose potential phone calls by having additional phone numbers that may not be your main business phone number.
Let's see how we're able to look at the dashboard of tracking or whatever you want to talk about here.
Yeah. So obviously, what's the purpose? Where does this all get done? So if we come over to let me just see what we've got going on here. So how you actually see this, if we come over to reporting, into call reporting, jumped over a little bit here, you can actually see under number name, call reporting here, you can see GMB, Google Ad Extension, ATE site, GMB, ATE
up to the
site.
top. Can you go to the top?
Yep. And yeah, you can even come up here and start to see some top call sources.
Yep.
Well, that's a call sources. That's different again. That can be a little different again.
Yeah, and then
So,
going up to the actual rings right there, it's
yep.
kind of nice to see how many calls were missed. In
Mm,
this particular business, Artificial Turf Express, we get after hours calls, and while it looks like those calls were missed, they indeed were missed by the system, but the system actually forwarded them over to our actually after hours system. But if you didn't have that in place and you were running your business and you noticed there were 3 missed calls over a given period, you might want to know what happened to them, and you might want to know how to mitigate that. And there's other things that we can talk about, which is called missed call text back, but that's for another video.
yeah. And the great thing is you could actually come in here with filters and look at, you know, when, when were all these calls missed, right? And you could actually come down and say, um, maybe they were on the weekend when I was closed. Maybe it was at a point where I only had one staff member on, and that person was already on the phone and had someone standing in front of them. Like, there's all these variables that you can start to look at and use this information alone to work out, okay, do I need to increase my staffing? Do I need to
Right.
get a flow over thing? Do I need missed call text back? Stuff like that. So this is the
Cool.
kind of granular, or the more details and solutions that you can start coming up with because you have the data now to see it.
And how are the calls recorded?
Yep. So if we come back over here, we just did a little test call earlier as well. So we're not using someone, but basically here in the conversations in the AGM app, uh, and even if you go into the contact, you'll see this as well. But you can see this was an outbound call from Artificial Turf Express. If it's inbound, it'll just go on the left-hand page, left-hand side of the page here. And you can see here it was a recorded call for 28 seconds.
So you can play it right in there.
Yep, so you can just click here to play. It probably won't play right here on the
That's fine.
recording, which is fine, but you can see that. You can also download the call, and it'll pop up into a new tab. It'll
Or
play.
or if you want to, you can actually, yeah. I don't
Yeah,
think you can. I don't think you can send the URL address, but you can download that MP3 and
yeah,
email it.
yeah. You can download that, send it off to someone. Absolutely. If someone else is logged into the system, you could send them a link, but you do need to be logged in to see that URL. So, yeah.
And what about that cool little view transcript?
Yeah, so this is a brand new feature we've actually just activated in this account, and we'll be contacting our clients to see if they want it activated. Not everyone might not want it. So we're not just gonna, it's one of the things. Some people want
Why
features, some
would you?
people
Why would
don't.
you not want that? That's crazy.
That's a good question, but hey, I'm not running their business. So
Okay, so the question becomes, why would you want transcripts? Well,
yeah,
here's why. What about how you could listen to how your call sitter is handling prospects? That's a really dang important reason. How your phone calls when you call prospects, how those are being handled, how
hmm
salespeople are speaking to customers, and how the follow up recording goes, so you can do training, sales training, and showing maybe some missteps or maybe a great job and you want to praise someone. The
yeah,
transcripts are all there too. And another cool feature is if you highlight over the whatever was discussed, it moves you straight to that recording if you
yeah,
click it
yeah.
right to the
Those are
spot in the
20
recording.
seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a super powerful tool, like Troy said, and I don't see any of our clients not wanting this, especially for training purposes, for feedback to their team. But it's also good to protect you as a business. What clients say, or what are they told during phone calls as well.
You told me it was only $12.
Yeah. Well, here you go.
Yeah, you missed the
So
100. You missed the 100 off the 12.
exactly. Um, so I think that's a very powerful tool. Like we said, just been released. We'll be adding that to our clients' accounts and letting them know. Unless you've watched this, and hey, there you go. Now you know. So as far as reporting goes, uh, I think the main other big thing is being able to filter out things is really important. Um, and just, you can get really granular here. And then you can always change the timelines as well, like the last 7 days, incoming versus outgoing. Because the great thing about this platform is all your calls for your sales team in your office and everything can actually run through the platform, whether it's here on the desktop version or on the mobile app as well.
And you can call out of the app as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. So obviously it runs through data as opposed to like a regular cell phone call. But the advantage is all those calls are now tracked. They're all now recorded and transcribed and reported back in here.
And where's the interface for that?
To do that, so here on the desktop, you got this little phone button up here. You punch in the phone number or like the contact's name if you want to search by contact. And then you can actually call from any of the specific phone numbers you have in here. So the idea with this would be if you had, a salesperson Bob, and they had their own phone number, they would select Bob, which I believe it defaults when the user is logged in, but they would select Bob's phone number, and then it would come from that phone number when they dial out. So if they've already spoken or someone's already called that person, that salesperson, that is a recognition of them calling back, and there's that congruency in messaging and communication. Okay. Reporting, like I said, you got sources, and even here in table format, and you can put, as things are kind of tracked through the pipelines that some of our other calls have dealt with, you can see if deals have been won based on these calls. And then you've got a whole lot. You can actually connect through to the contacts record here.
If you were to click that, what do you see?
So you go through to the contact itself.
Yeah, exactly.
So it just opens in a new tab and you can see their information. You can listen to the call recording, download that call recording. You can even see the device type if it came through from someone else. So
I don't think we need to go too crazy, but if you click the columns button, you can customize it over to the right. Yeah. You can customize everything. So if you don't want to see all that, you can pull it all out as well.
Exactly. You can minimize
It's pretty cool stuff.
Yep. I think the last thing we want to talk about was the inbuilt IVR functionality within the AGM app.
Yeah, exactly. It's what artificial grass marketing uses. If you call us, you get a press a button number tree, and it directs to either myself, Andrew, or I think you can go into tech support. But go ahead, Andrew. Show us how this works.
Yeah, so this is native. We are able to build this out custom to each individual client as they would like. We do charge a small fee because just to maintain it and manage it for you. But compared to going out to Ring Central or any of those other providers, it's a very affordable.
It's a whole $150.
Yep, exactly. So basically, we have a trigger, and it's basically any phone number that comes through will come through this IVR system. Okay. You basically have a welcome message.
I'm laughing. Your dog can now open that door. That's impressive.
Yeah. Thank goodness for barn doors, right?
Sorry.
It's all good. So we're going to collect here their input. So you can actually have a typed message that you want to just have like an AI voice readout.
Hey, thanks for calling Artificial Grass Marketing. We're not available right now.
Yep. Or you can actually have one pre-recorded by yourself, someone in your office, upload it as an MP3 file, and it'll play for your callers. Then, depending whether you press 1, press 2, press 3 in our circumstance, it will go down like here. We read out kind of a list of services that we do. Here is, I can't even remember what number 2 is.
Well, I mean, for practical reasons, if you have an IVR and you're in the turf business, you're going to have probably press 1 for sales, press 2 for production or customer service, press 3 for warranty. I don't know. You're going to have those kinds of calls, and you can send them to people's cell phones. You can send them to other phones in the building. Exactly. It's very highly functional.
Yeah, and you can even just send it to a voicemail if you wanted to, for things that might end up being like spam calls and stuff like that every business seems to get. But like Troy said, you can either forward them to users within the AGM app and it'll go straight to their cell phone via the app or a cell phone number,
So
or to an office line or anything else you want to do.
yeah, and the other cool thing is once the message is completed, you get an SMS text letting you know that a message has arrived.
Yeah, you can, or a notification, or we can set it up in multiple different ways. So down here under, not on this one, but on help.artificialgrassmarketing.com, and within your mobile app, when you're logged in, you've always got your little help thing. You can just search call tracking, call reporting, and it's going to have a whole lot of help topics that you'll be able to
And if you go to that for
there.
the very first time, help.artificialgrassmarketing.com, let's see what that looks like. Just show us the main site. And you got all kinds of man, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here. So
yeah, there's more stuff than you're going to want to be able to use. So
and there's videos and static content as well. And obviously, you have 24/7 tech support in the window.
Yeah. And here's all your phone stuff that you can access just by clicking through and navigating this way. So
yeah, I love it.
So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do that we have set up for you. So definitely take advantage of it. If you're a current client, and if you're not, you're in good hands.
I love it. I think that's all we had for the prepared remarks. We do have some cool stuff coming down the pike. I talked about last week that we might be bringing it out. It was a little early. I'm still doing some testing on our pretty amazing chatbot that can pre-qualify book appointments for you inside the platform. You might say, well, I don't want to do that. That's cool. But what's happening with consumers out in the world is they're all being trained on how to interact with the bot. And that bot is Google Gemini. And Gemini is now teaching people how to interact and get little pieces of information and not even have to talk to a human. So when consumers come to businesses and there isn't that ability to chat or have a dynamic FAQ or something that can prevent them from having to go scroll through your website or make a call or fill a form out just to talk to you, you're going to separate yourself from the rest of the industry. The rest of the so you're definitely going to separate yourself from the rest of the industry, but you're going to separate yourself from your local competitors if they don't have that. And if you start paying attention to websites that you go to, you're going to start seeing a lot more bots. So with that, I yield back to Andrew. Thanks a lot for joining us this week. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Have a great week. We'll see you on the next one.
Bye, guys.
Bye.